Season 3 is here, and today I am going to be going through all of the changes. I'm going to be trying to demonstrate how they all work and give a quick idea of if they're good, if they're bad. I'm also going to mainly focus on the changes that matter, so there's a lot of things that are like bug fixes or extremely minor changes. I'm not really going to put a spotlight on those, it's just going to be the things that I think actually make a difference. So, we're going to go through every character. It's going to be a long one. Let's do it. Also, please hit subscribe. I always forget to ask that. Thanks very much. I guess just to give a quick summary before we get started as well, if you just want the Cliff Notes version of the update, I think this update is a little bit smaller than I was expecting. This feels more like a mid-season balance patch rather than like the big Season 3 rebalance or whatever. I think ultimately, it feels like Capcom believe that when this game first launched 2 years ago, I think Capcom thinks it was like 98% complete on release date, and at this point it feels like every balance patch is just like tweaking things. I'm not expecting any major overhauls for this game now, having seen 2 seasons of updates that don't really change much about the core gameplay flow. If you were hoping for Season 3 to be like a big change in design philosophy, I think you're going to be disappointed. I'm kind of like neutral on this update. I think there's some good stuff here and also some disappointing stuff. And I'll talk about it as I get to it. Okay, so battle change list. So we're starting off, before we go into the characters, we're going to be starting off with the system mechanic changes. Some of these we already knew about, but now we've got them all the details ironed out. Starting with perfect parry. So as was mentioned in the previous couple of videos I did, we now have the so-called imperfect parry, whatever you want to call it, the decent parry, the not-so-great parry. It exists, and it works the way that we thought it worked. So there are now basically 3 different types of parry, although functionally 2 of them are basically the same. So we've got the regular parry, which is just like the hold parry, works the same as it always did. But now, if you want to get a screen freeze on your perfect parry, you have to also be blocking in the right direction for the incoming attack. So for example, because a drive impact is a mid, you have to be holding stand block to get a perfect parry. Like that. So that hasn't changed, you just have to hold stand block to do that now. If you try and perfect parry a mid from a crouch block, this is what will happen. Like that. The slightly different animation, it's not that obvious, it's a slightly different color to the parry and there's a slightly different sound cue. So I hit the perfect parry timing right there, but because I was crouch blocking, I didn't get the screen freeze. But what's interesting is you can see that my advantage here is only +3. And what that means is that the frame advantage on an imperfect parry is exactly the same as just like a regular parry. So there's no like extra reward, other than I think you get a little bit more drive gauge. But in terms of like frames, if you perfect parry like a mid while crouching and get the imperfect parry, there's no additional frame advantage at all. It's exactly the same. They've said that the reason for this is basically they just want to reduce the amount of times that matches get decided by like a random tap parry. So I think that's a good change. I think that makes sense. They also made some universal changes to crouch medium kicks and lows, because I think having a good low is now a very strong feature to have. If you can mix up mid versus low, it makes you much less susceptible to perfect parry. So they have said that a lot of lows have been nerfed. Okay, second system change, throw escapes. So again, as we knew before, I won't go into this one because we already knew this from the last footage, but if you tech a throw, you get drive gauge and a little bit of super gauge back to try and make throw loops, I guess, feel a little bit less bad. Throw loops are still in the game, so this is kind of their way of, I guess, trying to tone down them a little bit. But it's a fairly minor change, and we already covered this, so I won't go into that one in too much detail. This one was a strange one. They've universally made it so that, yeah, I think they made the sweeps a little bit better during their active frames. But they also made it so that the move can now be recovered from after normal or counter hit. They've made it so that you can now back roll sweeps on normal hit or counter hit. So I guess that some characters can't now use it as like a corner escape. But this is I wasn't really expecting this change. I don't think it's a big deal for most characters, so I won't put too much thought into it. But yeah, sweeps are a little bit better hitbox wise and a little bit worse in terms of Oki. Also, oh, I should mention this as well. There's been quite a few changes to modern as well. The main one is that most characters get access to a lot of modern jump attacks they didn't have access to before. I'm not a modern player, so I can't speak to how useful these changes are. It's a small buff to modern across the entire cast, but whether it makes a big difference, I don't really know, so I won't speak to that because I'm not a modern expert. I'll let the modern players decide how big of a deal this is. They made a change here, which I was a bit confused about. I was scared by this change, actually, when I saw this. They said that drive gauge recovery now occurs from frame 11 and later after moving forward. So I assumed that meant they were killing micro-walk combos, but I don't think they actually did, as far as I can tell. Yeah, micro-walks still exist. Yeah, I guess the idea is that, like, you have a slightly bigger delay if you do, like, a drive rush cancel for pressure. I think that's mostly the system changes. The big ones really is the new imperfect parry and throw teching, giving resources. Those are the ones that matter, really. The rest seems like minor stuff. So I think we'll jump over to the actual character changes. And there is a lot to get through. So, starting with Luke. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the changes that are, like, described in detail. I like this. They kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of what they consider to be, like, the most meaningful changes and, like, how they can be used. Okay, so they basically just made it so that if you miss the perfect charge on medium flash knuckle, combo's still fine, doesn't make that much of a difference. Okay, so I think the idea is you still get the same combo. So the only, I think what it is that the only advantage of hitting the perfect now is just damage. It's not a case of, like, the whole combo breaks. You same combo, just less damage if you don't hit the perfect timing. I guess they're bringing down his execution requirements a little bit, because Luke is actually kind of I don't think perfect knuckles are that difficult, but I do think he's not a very beginner friendly character, so I kind of understand that. You do need charged perfect knuckles to do his combo structure. Snapback combo, medium punch, medium punch, medium punch, medium punch. On hit, Luke gains more drive gauge. Knockdown time increased, allowing you to do a forward dash into standing heavy kick for a meaty setup. Okay, that's cool that they actually tell you what the additional knockdown advantage is useful for. So after this target combo, you now get a guaranteed meaty. Oh, that's cool. Auto-timed. I mean, this target combo is, I think, quite situational. What's the meaty on block? +1. It's pretty good. It's not a huge change, but it's pretty nice. Light rising uppercut, light DP. We've greatly increased the combo count upper value so it can be used in juggles more often. Does this mean he can DP after air flash knuckle? Okay, that's cool. I always thought it was kind of lame that Luke lands after doing this, and then all he can do afterwards really is, like, supers and stuff. I think this is also good because, like, Luke loses actually quite a lot of useful combo routes in the corner. Like, he's a weird character where sometimes he's actually better off in the middle of the screen because he gets the wall bounce on this. Sometimes his combos actually get worse in the corner because he can't wall bounce. So I think that's kind of the idea here, is to equalize his corner combos with his mid-screen combos. After light knuckle, he gets OD knuckle, medium DP, light DP. That's pretty cute. Luke's got a little bit more sauce now. It's pretty cute. I like stuff like this. I like when characters... These are the kind of changes I like. I like when characters just get a little bit of extra sauce, but doesn't really fundamentally, like, break anything. Crouch light kick. Recovery change from 12 to 11. Advantage on hit change from -1 to 0. Advantage on block change from -5 to -3. So, it seems like there's been, like, almost universal improvements to a lot of characters' crouch light kick and crouch jab frame data. This kind of change is applied to almost every character, so I won't go into too much detail about it. Stand heavy kick, reduced hurt box around the feet upwards between frames 8 and 15. To be honest, I'm not a Luke player, so I can't tell how much of a change this is. That seems pretty good. Seems to beat lows as long as you do it first. Outlaw kick, which is back heavy kick. Advantage on block change from -5 to -3. Reduced pushback on block. Adjusted so that some forward momentum remains if this attack is blocked when performed from a drive rush. Oh, okay. This normal kind of got nerfed pretty heavily in the last update. They made it much worse as a combo tool, so this feels more like a slight reversion, I think, to make his back heavy kick have more use cases than just being combo filler. Extended the timing for when you can cancel into fatal shot by 5 frames. Now, why would you want a bigger window to cancel EX Sandblast into the follow-up? Like, is it a hit confirm now? Old man reactions? Well, I'm sure someone can hit confirm it. Lord knows that person's not me. Someone who's not in their 30s can probably hit confirm that. I'm sure Noah can, yeah. Overdrive Impaler. Advantage on block change from -5 to -3. Okay, so this is now safe. The run overhead. And I guess also plus in burnout. Like, you could do something like this. And that's +1. New Luke Burnout Infinite just dropped. Luke doesn't have amazing ways to give himself plus frames in Burnout. So this putting you +1 point blank from like his longest range normal is actually pretty good. I mean, I'm glad they're doing something with this move because like this thing is almost never used. To be honest, in general in this game his run is not very good. Occasionally you use this as like a meaty if you have a frame kill for it. But overall in this game his run is not very useful. So I'm just glad they're giving it a function, I guess. Okay, moving on. Up next, we're doing Jamie. From what I understand, Jamie got a lot of love in this update. So, they buffed Jamie's stand medium kick, is the takeaway here, which is one of his best buttons. And it's also slightly faster on startup. It's now 9 frames, down from 10. This thing. They said they made it a little bit more whiff punishable. So, like, it's not quite so spammable, but, like, I think it's still quite good at beating, like, low forwards. Like, this is one of the best anti-crouch medium kick moves in the game, I think, still. Didn't they say that this was a combo? Was it punish counter? Punish counter. Yeah, I think that's the difference, is that, like, punish counter jab at long range used to just be, like, forced into wreckers like this. But now, because you can link into stand medium kick, you can then go into palm, which is a much better combo tool. I think in the corner you can do, like, stuff like this. It's a nice little improvement. I think they said you also get it off crouch medium punch as well. Yeah. Free flow strike. The final attack can be cancelled into supers. So I think that's his full wreckers. They've made it so that you can now, like, cancel the final wrecker into supers. You can now do that. And also on EX. Yeah. Stand medium punch. Advantage on hit changed from +5 to +6. Jamie is now one of those characters that can do medium into medium on regular hit. This is also a big buff. This being a natural combo is pretty damn good. This also, I think, improves his game plan at low drink levels because, like, one of the things about Jamie is that a lot of the time, his best hit confirm is the target combo, this thing. Like, a lot of the time he has to do that combo route, which means that when he's in drink level 0, his combos off stand medium punch fucking suck. But now you can just do this. Another big Jamie buff. Stand heavy kick is now +3 on hit, up from +1. Yeah. Crouch medium punch, recovery change from 13 to 15 when the attack misses. This is another thing that's been sort of semi-universal. A lot of characters with like really good crouch medium punches that are like 6 or 7 frames, they actually got some whiff recovery. It's insane how many characters in this game had a crouch medium punch with the recovery of like a jab. Like half the cast has this for some reason, but it seems like they're removing a lot of them. Crouching heavy punch. Attack startup change from 9 to 8 frames. Another good buff. Reduced horizontal blowback when hitting an airborne opponent. Now, I have been informed that this is a really big buff because one of the side effects of this is Jamie's command grab, the regular version, will now go into crouch fierce. This used to be EX only. Now he can just do it off regular command grab, which is a pretty nice damage increase, I think, for a lot of his command grab combos. Stand, medium punch, counter hit, crouch, heavy punch. Yeah, that's also a link now. Pretty much all of his links got improved. His damage is better, and he doesn't have to spend as much resources to do it. Bitter strikes, light punch, light kick, medium punch. Advantage on hit on the last attack changed from -2 to -1. Heavy wrecker combos now? Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay. Again, that's just like free damage. It's free real estate, you know? Okay. Okay, so this is another big buff, actually. This one's kind of underrated. So all of his DPs got buffed. 3 active frames on light DP and reduced recovery by 3 frames. 2 active frames on medium and heavy and reduced recovery by 2 frames. So this should make juggling after his DP. I mean, it'll make his DP more consistent as an anti-air, and it'll also give him much more consistent juggles afterwards. Anyway, let's move on to Manon. Now, before I start talking about Manon, I have to say up front, I have given Manon players a hard time in the past. I always say Manon players are kind of the whiniest of the low-tier warriors in this game. But I will admit, you guys got... you guys kind of got screwed by this update. 07 to the Manon players, kind of. Even me as like a Manon hater, I do kind of feel bad for this. I don't know what they were cooking with these Manon changes. They gave her a few buffs, and they also gave her some massive nerfs for some reason. Okay, stand medium punch. Recovery changed from 14 to 15 frames, so it's easier to whiff punish. Knockback time on hit increased by 1 frame. Advantage on block changed from -1 to -2. So because this move is now -2 on block, and it's 7 frames startup, that means if the opponent is in burnout, this is only +2 from +3, and that means that if your opponent presses 4 frame after this, you just get counter hit. Like, her burnout loop of just spamming medium punch is kind of dead now. A lot of people in chat saying good, but honestly, she didn't have much going for her. Having an obnoxious burnout pressure sequence was one of the few good things she had going for her, and she lost that. I mean, you can call out the jab and do like this. Like, you can counter hit them with a jab, but I don't know. I think this is excessive. I don't think she needed to lose this. And also, as well, just whiffing this in general now has more recovery. This was a very spammable button before. Again, they also did the same nerf, or a similar nerf, to crouch medium punch as well. So, if you whiff crouch medium punch, it has 2 more frames of recovery and a bigger hurt box. You have to make sure you actually connect with this thing now, because it's significantly more whiff punishable. Both of her best mediums, I would say, have been nerfed pretty significantly. It is a kind of universal change. Like, they want to make buttons more committal. I get where they're coming from, but sometimes it feels like you should do it on a per character basis. I'm not saying Manon is bottom 1 unviable trash, but I'm just kind of like scratching my head a little bit with these changes. Crouch light kick went from -5 to -3 on block. Crouch medium kick also got nerfed. Initial scaling of 20%. So if you start a combo with this, it immediately kills your damage. This again is sort of universal, but the point I'm trying to make here is that like some characters I don't feel like needed this change. I could understand if this was plus on block. Like, I understand why they made this change for like Aki and Kimberly. Spoilers, we'll get there. But like characters like Manon, I don't know. It's crazy that we've covered like 5 changes and they've pretty much all been nerfs. Okay, so this is the 2 changes that they're kind of advertising as the big selling points, like, of this update. Like, what Manon players should be rejoicing about. So, her target combos now have special behavior on punish counter. So for example, if you punish counter with medium punch, medium kick, it now knocks down. You can hit confirm this. This is a hit confirmable target combo, and you can get like Oki here. But I mean, on regular hit, this thing pulls you in point blank and leaves you +2 anyway, which is like one of the best situations you can be in the game. Like, why wouldn't you just do an actual combo if you got the punish counter, is kind of my question. Weird change, honestly. And they did this similar thing with the stand fierce target combo. This one's slightly better. Okay, this one's slightly better. I didn't realize this. You can combo off this one now. This is what I thought both of them would do. So this is probably the only actual noticeable buff she's got so far. That's a decent little improvement. This button's pretty good. Stand fierce is a good button. So I like that they're kind of leaning into her poking game and making this a little bit better now. So she can actually convert off this. This is the closest thing to a real Manon buff we've had so far. It's not a huge deal, but it came at such a cost. I think that's kind of my takeaway here is like, yeah, she has that now, but she lost so much in exchange for it. Final Manon change. Light ballerina kicks. Change the effect when hitting an opponent on the ground from a blowback to a tailspin. What is this, Tekken? Oh wait, this is not the ballerina kicks, this is this. Oh, so this doesn't knock down now. Oh, you can link crouch medium punch on punish counter. So before you had to cancel the first hit of this special into level 3, which did horrible damage, but I guess now you can cancel both. Okay, so you don't lose half the damage of that. You can do the double hit. I guess it improves her light confirm into level 3 as well. That's the end of the list. Yeah, so I mean, she got like a cute little juggle of heavy punch target combo with punish counter and a slight improvement to her level 3 combos and stuff. But like, it came at such a huge cost. Manon might be the biggest loser of this patch. Not to say that she's the most nerfed character, but in terms of like a character that was already not great, somehow getting worse. Anyway, let's move on to Kimberly. Okay, so Kimberly's bomb. They actually gave the double bomb a usage. So you might not even seen this really, but like if you press down, down, and 2 punches, you can actually throw both of the cans. And this wasn't very useful because they both exploded at the same time. But now you can actually offset the 2 explosions to have a gap, depending on what buttons you press. Like that. So I guess there's probably new set play you can do. Oh yeah, this as well. Yeah, I'm kind of jumping ahead on that one. They also made Jump Fierce actually work as a juggle tool now. I think that's partly to go alongside of it. Whether it's worth doing the double can, I'm not too sure. You get some really neat set play out of it, but it does come at a big price. Because you have to use both the spray cans. It probably is worth it sometimes. You get a good mix-up afterwards. Okay, light punch, medium punch, heavy kick target combo. Gives you a better hit advantage. Plus 49? Okay, but plus 49 is enough advantage to set up a can. Cool. So, yeah, this target combo has a use now. Crouch, medium punch, more recovery, bigger hurt box. Yeah, this is the same. This is what I was talking about earlier. Kind of universal nerfs to a lot of good crouch, medium punches. Crouch, light kick, less pushback on block. Crouch, medium kick, initial scaling from 15% to 20%. So Kimberly is one of the privileged few characters who has a plus on block crouching medium kick. And this is part of the move towards the, like, accommodating the perfect parry changes. Because I think having a good low, especially one that's plus on block, is going to be a very desirable feature this season. Because now perfect parry has to be done high or mid. So I'm not surprised they made this thing scale even harder as a combo starter. Kimberly wasn't exactly a high damage character to begin with. I think the rest of it is mostly just quality of life stuff. So I think that, like, Kimberly's changes aren't big, but her set play getting even stronger is pretty damn good. Okay. Marisa, the character I was playing recently. The appeal of Marisa was clobbering people. So true. Alright, so they're saying that, like, she's gonna benefit in general from the perfect parry changes because they buffed her lows, which I'll get into in a second. Also, Super Art Level 1 Javelin of Marisa will activate on a throw. Didn't see this one coming, if I'm being honest. So Marisa's big thing is that she's incredibly vulnerable to throws, or she was incredibly vulnerable to throws, because all of her armored moves lost to throw, including her level 1, which was also an armored move. And still is an armored move, but for some reason now, it's an armored move that also counters throws now. So she now has an actual good wake-up option. This will now beat strikes and throws and projectiles. It works on command grab too, like you can do dumb shit like this. Which will never happen in a real match, but it's kind of funny. It's a good buff. She definitely needed some help against throws because my suggestion was to make her backdash better, but they just made her level 1 beat throws now. Crouching light punch, advantage on hit changed from +3 to +4. Now I suggested in my list that they change this from +3 to +5. They didn't quite go that far, but they did make it +4. So this solves one of two issues, but not the other one. So by making it +4, I think she still has no light to medium link on counter hit. This is still not a combo. Unfortunately. She still doesn't have light to medium on counter hit, but at the very least, on punish counter, she can do light to heavy. And that's just nice in general to have as like a jab punish, but also it's pretty nice for her drive reversal punish. So her drive reversal punish went from this. That was the old one for no drive, 2000 damage, to this. $2,780. So that's a pretty nice increase. And obviously you can do more if you spend bar. It's not bad. It's a nice little improvement to her punish game. Stand light kick, pushback on hit reduced. I think that's mostly just for combo consistency. Crouch light kick went from 0. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Sorry, I skipped this one. This is important as well. I don't want to get ahead of myself. The crouch light punch also went from -3 to -1, which is another thing that I asked for because now Marisa doing crouch jab does not lose to mashing 4 frames. So, you see, crouch jab is now actually mash proof, which it wasn't before. This used to trade, and now it just wins clean. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a light to medium link, so it's not like you can do this into this. But at the very least, you can do something like this. Crouching medium kick. Advantage on hit changed from +2 to +3. Initial scaling of 20% added. This is similar to the Manon change. So she now actually gets decent frame advantage off drive rush crouch medium kick. And this is like one of her only lows that doesn't suck. So this is now +7 on drive rush, which means she can do this. So this, before she had to link into lights here. But now she can do mediums, which is pretty nice. But it comes at the cost of combo scaling. Okay, crouch, heavy punch, hold can now be cancelled into supers. So I think this now gives her better ways of comboing into full charge level 1. Yeah. This is now really good driveless damage. Heavy punch target combo increases knockdown on hit by 7 frames. This, I think, gives a safe jump now. Yeah, anytime you do like a combo in the middle of the stage, and it takes them near the corner, you now get a safe jump afterwards, which is really nice. Ignore the inputs here, they're all wrong. So Superman Punch has a smaller hurt box around the feet from when she leaves the ground to the 3rd active frame. That's pretty good, actually, because this move is supposed to like go over stuff, and a lot of the time it just doesn't. So I think the idea here is that she has a smaller hurt box around her feet when she's in the air. You're less likely to get clipped by like a crouched jab or something. This is quarter circle back medium punch, I think. Expanded the anti-air invincibility property from only the head to the area from the waist up. Okay, so it sounds like they've made it a nice buff where this thing can actually anti-air semi-consistently, I guess. Okay. Oh, and it ground bounces. Wait. I mean, not many characters can do an air invincible special into 5k plus damage. That seems pretty good to me. Alright, Lily. Lily's anti-air attacks such as back heavy punch and crouch heavy punch and other attacks saw their proficiencies downward. Some of the language they use in these guides is very strange. I don't know what that means. Okay, thanks for making their proficiencies more downward. I've always been saying that, guys. Ever since Lily came out, I've always said that her proficiencies need to be aimed more downward. A lot of people have disagreed with me about that, but I've been saying that since day one. Okay, let's just go into the actual changes. Medium Tomahawk Buster, DP Medium Punch is now easier to incorporate into combos, which is a big change for her. I'll be the judge of that, motherfucker. Lily has good combo ability from her light attacks, citation needed, so now when she doesn't have Windclad stocked, you can use it to cover situations where previously only OD Condor Spire was an option. They're saying medium DP is now good in like light combos. But I mean, it's still risky. Like if you mistake point blank for like this distance, congrats, you just lost the round if like this happens. I mean, it is a buff, I won't lie. She got a better combo of jabs without having to spend wind, but like, if I was a Lily player, I would still be scared. Okay, forward dash now travels more distance. I'll take your word for it. I guess maybe it looks a little bit longer, but that might just be me imagining things. Good Oki after medium DP. Yeah, but I feel like even with her old dash, this would have been in range to mix you. Again, like I said, this is a buff objectively, but it's kind of a nothing burger, you know? Crouch Heavy Punch no longer hits an opponent behind Lily on active frames 1 and 2. So they nerfed Crouch Heavy Punch as an anti-air slightly. I guess it's not an anti-cross-up move anymore. That's pretty big. Jump Medium Punch can now be cancelled into special moves. She already did get pretty good juggles off Jump Medium Punch, so like, okay. So she can do like, it's finicky actually. You have to delay it. Like if you do an instant cancel here, it's kind of awkward. You have to delay it. But the thing is, if you're going to delay it, you might as well just do the full target combo. You know? It's a weird change. Can you do it out of back jump? That could be the use case. You can't. The one thing I was thinking that this might be useful for was like doing it out of back jump, and you can't do special cancels out of back jump. I guess they made it so that the first hit is also super cancelable. Can you do that on back jump? I guess that's a buff. I keep saying the same thing about Lily, which is like, yeah, it's a buff, but like, really? Happy for you or sorry that happened is the takeaway here. Forward Heavy Punch. Startup change from 18 to 16 frames. Advantage on block change from -5 to -4. Hitbox expanded forward. So they made her forward fierce a little bit better. This thing. Okay, so this is mostly like safe-ish. And it's slightly faster on startup as well. You get a meaty overhead setup off it now. Okay, auto times for a meaty overhead. If you just do it straight away, that's something. Same reaction as all the Lily buffs so far. Just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure. Level 2, they reduced the invincibility. Because I think they said at the start that the level 2 had unusually high invulnerability, so it's been reduced. So they actually nerfed her level 2 a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Lily is a perfect example of, like, exactly what I predicted, which is that she was going to get buffs that don't... I think exactly what I predicted. I said she was going to get buffs and they're not going to fundamentally change anything because she needs a redesign, and Capcom don't want to do that. So, you look at this list, and almost everything here is a buff, but, like, none of this matters. She is basically exactly the same character as she was last season. This is just not addressing the elephant in the room. JP. JP got the least changes of like any character. He barely got changed, which honestly, this is a huge dub for JP, truth be told. This is one of those cases where not getting nerfed super hard is the biggest buff you can get. Crouch medium kick got scaling, same as all the other crouch medium kicks, so like... This does less damage now. Small scaling increase. OD Strybog. Damage changed from second attack 400 to 800. If only the second attack hits. Oh, that's what it is. So if you get a situation where only the second hit of this connects, it kind of averages out the damage. And medium and heavy Torbalan have higher initial scaling. So if you start a combo with the overhead and low projectiles, like in corner mix-ups, for example, this scales the combo a bit. Yeah. Honestly, JP is basically untouched. The fact that his level 2 is completely unchanged is insane to me. Anyway. Juri. Juri's jump heavy punch has been nerfed. The hurt box is expanded to make it easier to trade with anti-air attacks. Again, that's a very strange way of phrasing that. I think they're saying that it's got a worse hitbox on her jump fierce. And the advantage on block was adjusted so that it's now +1 instead of +5, which this is something that I asked for. This jump normal is degenerate as hell, so I'm glad they nerfed it. I mean, okay. So they have taken a bit of advantage of this thing. This used to be +5 if it hit like this. Now it's +1. So it's still Juri's turn, but small nerf. Back heavy kick is now better at sniping attacks going for your feet in the neutral. This is such a weird way of writing this. Is this like machine translated or something? It's so weird the way they phrase this stuff. With the change in frames on hit, you can now combo into quarter circle forward medium kick or quarter circle back heavy kick. So I guess you can do that. It beats lows. So I guess this is now a decent like punish starter. Let's use an example of like a crouch medium kick. Like how good is this at beating lows? I mean, it can do that, but like you have to press it so early for that to work. Doesn't seem that good. Okay, standing heavy punch, expanded hurt box around the kicking leg. It seems like they've just given this thing bigger bigger hurt boxes in all directions. This button's really goddamn good, so hold that, basically. Crouching medium punch, more recovery, that's universal. Overdrive Saihasho. Added 20% initial scaling, 20% combo scaling. Oh, it's just the X fireball. Okay. This is another semi-universal change. They started doing this in the last update. But basically, if you start combos from, like, slow fireballs, you now get more scaling. I think quite a few characters already had that nerf last season. And a bug fix. Okay, so Juri didn't really get much changed. They mainly focused on buffing her back heavy kick, but it still seems kind of finicky to use, so she seems about the same, which is kind of what I was expecting. Couple of small combo changes, nothing big here. Anyway, Deejay. Okay, so Deejay's heavy up kicks. Is this a reversion? They made it better as an anti-air and also better as a combo tool. I think it has more horizontal range. Didn't they kill the range on this thing before? Okay. I mean, the thing is, 5 frames is really goddamn fast for a move that covers this distance. Like, hang on, let me just apply the ultimate test of the 5 frame. There's only one move that I can think of which we use when we're testing the power of a 5 frame. Works from further out than point blank. Okay, it has its limits, but even still, that's pretty good. There are very, very few characters that can punish Stand Fierce Jinrai from this distance. Oh, they said it can also combo from up close OD Air Slasher. So you can link EX Fireball. Cool. Okay, and the other thing was OD Just Cool, which is the very weird name for Sway. Opponent's recovery on block is increased, meaning that with the fastest timing, transitioning into Funky Slicer is a natural combo. Huh? On block? Didn't they call it a combo in this? It's a natural combo string, brackets not a combo. Okay, understood. That's, again, very weird way of writing that. Can we hire someone to proofread these patch notes, please? I mean, it's a true block string, I think. So if we set Ken to mash something. Yeah, it's a true block string. Cool. Does this change anything? Because, like, the only situation I can think where this would be useful is burnout pressure, but I think in burnout, this was already a true block string with the 4 extra frames of burnout block stun. Yeah, it was already a true block string in burnout, so I don't know what that does. You can burn them out with it. I mean, I guess if you want to attack their drive gauge. But Stand Fierce into EX Sway low does like a bar and a bit. So if your opponent is near burnout, you could use this to like force them into it. But, seemed a little bit niche. Stand Heavy Punch. Reduce the pushback on hit when the attack hits on the 3rd active frame or later. That's usually for like the Crouch Fierce, mid-combo meaty stuff, I guess. So I guess this is more consistent now. EX up kicks, bigger hitbox during a combo, and a bug fix. Man, these changes are so minor. This is honestly, I'm shocked by how small this balance patch has been so far. The last like 5 characters in a row has just been like, if you cut out all of the filler, like the modern fixes and the bug fixes and stuff, there's like 2 or 3 minor changes per character. Anyway, Cammy. Swing combination, heavy punch, heavy kick. Considering how easy it is to hit with this attack and its ability to carry opponents to the corner, we adjusted it so that after the final attack and hitting with a medium spiral arrow, the situation after hooligan combination is slightly worse. Was this always 0? I thought this was plus up double dash. Did they change this? This used to be plus. Okay. Can you do a different version of spiral arrow to get Oki? Oh, light whiffs? That just whiffs. That didn't used to whiff, right? I think that's changed as well. That just doesn't work now. Okay. That's a nerf. Yeah, I mean you can still do a drive rush here. Okay, so they nerfed her Oki off like her main combo ender. Heavy cannon spike. Attack hitbox on the tip of the attack was higher than other characters, allowing it to win out against standing and crouching medium punch. So we've adjusted the attack hitbox so that it's an average height compared... Heavy DP? What? Who is using heavy DP to challenge stand and crouch medium punches? What on earth are you talking about? So true? Question mark? What is this change? Reduced horizontal blowback when hitting an opponent in the air between active frames 1 and 2. Patch notes are yapping a lot today. Okay, so if you do a early heavy DP, am I imagining it or does it look like they're closer? Are they saying this gives better Oki now? Okay, I mean, whatever. Light spin knuckle. Oh, I saw it. Yeah, this is more juggle friendly now. It was already possible to do some juggles with this thing. It's a small juggle improvement. It's not nothing, it's something. Cammy overall, I think kind of nerfed a little bit just because the Oki, I think they gave her a few small buffs, but losing Oki on her main combo ender is kind of rough. Oh my god, I've just seen which character we're going to next. Well. Now, usually when I make these videos, I make a follow-up video about a week later where I talk about which characters are like the big winners of the patch and the big losers of the patch. But there is one character where I don't even need to wait a week to tell you who won this fucking update. This guy right here, Grand Champion Supreme winner of Season 3, not even close. I don't think any other character in the game won the update as much as Ryu over here. And can I just say, can I do a victory lap real quick? I called it so hard. Literally my last YouTube video, I said, Ryu is already really goddamn strong, and yet I have this horrible feeling, once again, they are gonna buff this asshole. And, I mean, congrats to Blaz, congrats to Ending Walker. Enjoy your Capcom Cup victory. Ryu won this balance patch, and it's crazy. He got so many buffs, and they're all really useful, even though he was already extremely strong. Anyway, let's get into the actual changes. Crouch light kick, -3 to -1 on block, not a big deal. Crouch medium punch, small nerf, that's the universal one. Slightly more recovery on whiff. Jump heavy kick is slightly faster. Forward heavy kick has more proximity block. So if you thought that forward fierce was the only glues you to the floor button, he now has 2 of them. Like, Ken is holding backwards, except he just stops the instant you press forward heavy kick. Like, it's not like he gets proximity block late in the move. Literally frame 2, you suddenly just stop moving when he presses forward heavy kick. Heavy Shoryuken, landing recovery reduced by 3 frames, knockdown time increased by 5 frames when it hits on the early active frames, so better Oki on heavy DP. Plus 18, and he can just walk up throw, I guess, here on back roll. Yep. Very good Oki after his heavy DP now. Normal Hadoken. Recovery on hit has been increased for all strengths. It went from +1 to +2 from light, -1 to 0 on medium, and -3 to -2 on heavy. So fireballs are just better. And that also means that if they hit from further out, he gets more frame advantage, because he needed that. Also, 100 free extra damage with no strings attached on all versions of his fireball. I mean, this change, this is the crazy thing about the Ryu changes. This change alone, I would have described as a significant buff on any of the previous characters we've been through so far because of how limited the changes are. In Ryu's list, it's just a goddamn footnote. Oh yeah, he just got 100 damage, whatever, who cares? That's actually massive for a Shoto, but it's not even barely worth mentioning compared to the shit he got. Okay, Denjin Charge Hadoken is now 2 frames faster, 2 frames more advantageous, and does 200 more damage. OD Hadoken also got 200 extra damage for free, and a faster projectile, so... Get jump scared, idiot, you know? This is just 200 more damage than it used to be, and it travels faster. OD Denjin Hadoken also got 200 extra damage. If there's one thing I've always said Ryu needs, it's more damage. This does 1200 now. Ryu is a low damage character. I'm glad he has that now. Okay, Super Art 1. Increased projectile speed, reduced attack hitbox downwards on the first active frame. Now, this projectile speed increase is just on the base level 1. They also, if you have Denjin Charge, the level 1 super goes twice as fast, doubled projectile speed. Like, I can't even begin to understand. So like, the regular level 1 looks like this. It's still really fast. Like, this is just the unupgraded version. This is also faster now. And the Denjin version is now this. Which, I can't even see that thing moving on the screen. Like, this is probably faster than Luke's Sandblast now. And that's not the only change. I haven't even got to the rest of them. It also went from 5 hits to 8, which means that it will now cut through a bunch of other supers. Nice tornado, idiot. I mean, it's not a pun. I will say that much. It's not a punish, but even still, being able to cut through Rashid's super and have 3 hits left over is insane. It's more combo friendly, better hitbox. You can't fall out of it so easily. And you'd think I'm done there with the buffs, but oh no, the list continues. Okay. This one's ludicrous. This one's probably better. I mean, the level 1 change is flashy when you see it traveling instantly. The level 2 change is absolutely deranged. So, level 2. Shorten time to charge to level 2 by 2 frames for both normal and Denjin charge versions. Change level 2 on-hit effect to match level 3. Added 20% combo scaling to level 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's 3 levels of charge to reuse level 2. And it used to work like this. Level 1 and level 2 just knocked down, and full charge level 3 gave you a tumble state. Right? That's how it used to work, I think. What they've done now is they've made it so that level 2, the middle charge version, now also gives you a tumble state. And you can charge the level 2 version of the level 2, which is a strange sentence, extremely quickly. So now off like normals, for example. This is now a tumble state. Usually that would be a combo that's reserved for like only after stuns and stuff, and now you can just do it off normals. I think you can even do it off mediums. I think this crouch medium punch lets you charge it. Yep. There you go. You can get the level 2 tumble version off mediums, not even heavy. Not a punish counter either. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. That's 7k. Again, 1 drive rush cancel. I don't know, man. The infinite machinations of Capcom's mind are an enigma to me. I thought I was done. There's one last buff. He also got 6 extra frames of advantage on level 3. He has better Oki after level 3 now. I thought I was done. I wasn't done. Congrats. Congrats to Ryu. Nice work. Fingers crossed you get more buffs in the next update. E-Honda. Let's move on before I have a meltdown. It's sumo time. Honda's a weird one here because they gave him some nice combo improvements, but they also kind of nerfed him as well. He's a bit of a buffed and nerfed mix. OD Taiho Cannon Lift, which is the launcher, basically. The EX version of the launcher. So it leaves you closer, and it's more combo friendly. And this is supposed to go inside with a change to his stomp. So that now gives you a fat ground bounce, which is new. I think it does good damage as well. Stuff like that is pretty meter efficient. So they did nerf, they nerfed headbutt, which I'm not surprised. I think this is more a nerf because this move is overpowered against, like, beginners. So they say perfect parry was an effective countermeasure against sumo headbutt, but now that Honda's opponents will have to also worry about inputting the correct direction because of the perfect parry changes. We've reduced the amount of drive gauge this deals on block. Previously, blocking a headbutt was, I think, 1 bar of drive gauge damage, and now it is like 75% of a bar. It's still quite a lot of drive gauge damage for a safe move, but I understand why they did that. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Standing medium punch has 2 more frames of whiff recovery, which, thank Christ, because this is one of the most spammable normals in the game. And for some reason, it had, like, no whiff recovery, so I'm happy to see that. Honda definitely needed buffs, but at the same time, this one normal was turning into a Lily situation where it was a bit toxic. Standing heavy kick added a hitbox for the second hit that can only hit during a combo, making it easy to hit opponents in the air. Oh, that works now. Interesting. Okay. Small juggle improvement. Headbutt for a side switch. It's cute. It's a cute idea. Like, if you're in the corner, I guess you could do that. Crouch medium kick, initial scaling. Like I said, I've covered that for quite a few characters already. So drive rush, crouch medium kick does less damage as a combo starter. That's the one we already covered. Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered most of the changes. Nako Damashi. It doesn't have the input. Is this clap? That is clap. So you can juggle into clap more easily. I hate down inputs. All my homies hate down inputs. Oh, like that. Okay. Okay, level 3 has a bigger hitbox. Alright. So, yeah, I think Honda's about the same. His combos got a little bit better, but also headbutt got less spammable. Despite everything, he's still Honda. Blanka. Now, Blanka actually got my favorite change of this entire update because it's so funny looking. So, Blanka, as it says here, his most significant change is his ability to combo into Overdrive Wild Hunt. And Wild Hunt is his command grab. Alright, we'll just do this for the time being because my execution's bad. But yeah, you can now combo into his EX command grab, and you may be wondering, like, why would you do that? Because the damage is not amazing, and it instantly ends the combo. And the reason is that Blanka's EX command grab is kind of unique amongst all command grabs in the game, in that it has a billion years of frame advantage on knockdown. This is plus 64 on knockdown. And that means that you have plenty of time to set up a Blanka-chan, even mid-screen, if you combo into this thing. So you're plus 13 after putting down the Blanka-chan. So it basically just means that I like this change because it lets Blanka players choose to spend a bit of drive gauge to actually use the Blanka-chan stuff in the middle of the stage. Because, like, right now, Blanka's whole thing is basically that in the middle of the screen, he's kind of lame, and he only becomes, like, a Giga S-tier set play character once he's here. So I like any change that gives you the option of, like, forfeiting damage for Oki. I'm sure there's all kinds of crazy set play you can do with that, but I'm not a Blanka main. Crouch heavy punch got a damage increase of 100 and a smaller hurt box. Double knee bombs will now induce standing knockback on hit. That forces stand. Is that what they're saying? Okay, this now forces stand. Okay, I guess that's the reason why. Because now you get up ball consistently afterwards. And the rest is bug fixes. So it's most of the budget has been invested on giving him the combo into command grab. I just want to kind of show real quick that it's not grounded only, just before we move on. You can juggle into this thing. There we go. First time. So yeah, you can also juggle into it. It's not just a case of a grounded command grab combo. Now you can also juggle into it. Oh, actually, funnily enough, this bug fix is actually worth mentioning. Probably the first important bug fix I've seen so far. Yeah, I knew about this. So ever since Blanka was added to this game, for some reason, when Blanka does his level 3, the game considers him to be airborne. And because of that, it puts him in drive gauge recovery slowdown. So most characters get a shitload of drive gauge back refunded during the level 3 animation. But Blanka didn't. He got like way less drive gauge than everyone else because the game thought he was airborne for some reason. I'm surprised it took this long to fix this. So anyway, the point being that Blanka now gets a bunch of extra drive gauge during his level 3 on hit. Alright, Guile. Guile's projectiles are now a bit easier to use. Good for him. I'm glad that they made Sonic Boom even stronger. Thanks. A number of his combo pieces have been extended. While these changes boost his combo damage and projectile-based game plan, Knee Bazooka can no longer jump over the enemy. Okay. So Guile's projectiles will now disappear faster when they are judged to have left the screen, allowing him to shoot projectiles faster in situations like when you neutral jump a boom. That's actually a surprisingly big buff for Guile. It's like one of the only ways to like disrupt Guile's zoning pattern is to neutral jump his fireball, which means that like he can't throw the next one until the old one has despawned. But now they're making it so the old one despawns earlier. Yeah, so you can throw the next boom pretty much the moment that it leaves the screen, which is like pretty good. You used to have to wait way longer than this. That's a pretty big buff for Guile, honestly. I was not expecting that one. Okay, they're making it easier to combo into his level 1 after that weird wall splat that nobody actually uses. There we go. It only took me 400,000 attempts. I don't know. They made the level 1 more consistent for like long range confirms like that, but this whole move, this Sonic Cross that now like wall bounces is so finicky that I would not use it if I was a Guile player. And I don't think many Guile players do use it, so. Stand heavy kick. Advantage on hit changed from +3 to +4. That's now a combo. I guess if you're good at charging as well, you could probably just link it into flash kick as well. Oh my god. I'm surprised they're buffing Guile, honestly. I thought this character was unlikely to get anything good. Crouch heavy kick, proximity, yeah. And this is combined with the knee bazooka change. So Guile can no longer fucking side switch you into the corner plus O key plus L plus ratio anymore. He used to do this into sweep, and then bazooka knee, and he would side switch you and get O key, and it would put you straight into the corner. And now he can't. Yeah, no side switch. Okay, so they made a bunch of changes to down forward heavy kick on punish counter. I mean, it looks cool. It's a little bit of swag. I don't really think you're going to be punish countering with this normal compared to his other buttons. Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah, so I actually think Guile actually got buffed a little bit. It's not a huge improvement. Ken Masters. One of my favorite characters. Ken had two major focuses for his changes, offensive and defensive properties of his Jinrai kick, and his positioning after performing a forward throw in the corner. Once again, they have made it so that Ken is slightly further away after a forward throw in the corner, which is the exact same change they made last season. If I had $1 for every time they've increased the pushback of Ken's throw while also keeping his throw loop, I would have $2, but it's weird that it happened twice. The throw loop is a 1-frame timing now? I guess they've made it harder to do. But this is a weird change, because it's like, why would you not just do this to everyone? If you're... Okay, without wanting to get off the topic of this video, if the goal here is to make throw loops still in the game but high execution, shouldn't everyone's throw loop be like this? Where like technically you can throw loop, but it's actually hard to do? Whatever. I don't want to get too lost in questioning the Capcom design philosophy. Standing light punch extended forward momentum from drive rush by 3 frames. So one of Ken's more obnoxious things is his drive rush jab. I think what they've done is they've made it so that if you do drive rush jab, he kind of keeps skating forward a little bit at the end, rather than just instantly killing his momentum. It's not super visible. I think it's a small change, but like, basically, he's a little bit closer if he tries to whiff this. You're a bit more likely to punish him. They've also kind of pseudo-nerfed crouch medium kick drive rush in a weird way, where they've made it so that, like, when you do something like this, because you now keep sliding forward, it means that you now, I don't think it's now possible to shimmy here against instant throw. So if I set Rashid to like instant throw after blocking, I don't think I can walk out of range now. Yeah. Quite a lot of characters have had this change. Some of them have had it as a listed change, and sometimes it's unlisted. But they want crouch medium kick drive rush jab into tick throw to be a little bit less autopilot, I think. Okay, crouch medium punch, got extra recovery, which is good because that normal is very obnoxious. Okay, Jinrai changes. Can I be completely honest with you guys? I'm glad they nerfed Jinrai, but I don't particularly like the way they went about it. They made it so that the Jinrai on block does less drive gauge damage, which is fine. But here's the real nerf right here. The light kick follow-up to Jinrai, the Jinrai low, the last boss of autopilot pressure. What they've done is they've made it so that on counter hit, rather than just leading to a combo, this now knocks down like a sweep. It's a weird change they've done here. That. So if your opponent tries to mash in this gap, you used to get stand light kick into DP off this. Now it just knocks down, and Ken does get Oki here. So they have nerfed Jinrai. He does not get a combo here anymore. You can't even level 3 cancel this, by the way. Because this will happen. It's like a sweep, basically. But I just think this is such a weird way of changing it, because where, as a Ken player, it's unsatisfying because now you don't get much reward for catching your opponent mashing, and as the receiving player, you still don't really get enough of a reward for blocking this string. It's still -5 and leaves him miles away. So it's like, it is a nerf, but it's not a very elegant one, in my opinion. Kasai thrust kick. Added initial scaling of 40%. Oh, like that? That now scales by 40%? Oh, it does. It went straight to 50%. That is the weirdest change I have seen so far. Look at the damage. Why did the level 3 do nothing? That is easily the weirdest change so far. I have never seen a Ken player do this entire string as a frame trap into level 3 in my entire life. For what purpose? That is bizarre. Because of modern? Oh, is that a modern thing? Okay. This is the biggest nothing burger I've ever seen. Do not let people convince you that this change matters at all. So Ken's level 2 went from being -19 on block to -5. And it also does Giga Pushback. So is now safe on block because it leaves you -5 like all the way over here. And I saw a bunch of people saying, oh, why would they do this? Fire Capcom, why would they make his super safe? Now, two things. This super has no invincibility at all. Not a single frame. This is not a reversal. So it's not like they're going to do this on Wake Up. You know, this has 0 frames of invincibility. That's number one. So they'll never use this on Wake Up. Number 2, you can still interrupt this thing after the flash by just pressing a button. So like, same thing with Deejay's level 1. You can just hit him out of it. Like, you can't punish it after blocking it, but if you see the flash, just press a jab. I think the entire logic behind this change, from what I would guess, is this. I think the only reason this change exists is just to give Ken a little bit of safety if you try and use it as a punish from slightly too far out. That's the only reason this change exists. So like, let's say, I don't know if this is the case, but like, let's say that like, you block Deejay's medium Sobat, for example, and this is a punish, but sometimes it can drop at max range. See? Like that. At the absolute tip, this punish can drop. And it just means that in this situation, Ken is not going to lose the entire round purely because you are a pixel too far to connect this. So like, I think that's all this exists for. I think this is just a safety net to make some of his long-range 6-frame punishes not feel so bad if you accidentally get unlucky and hit them from just slightly too far out. I have seen people panicking and about Ken's level 2 being safe on block, but it's a complete nothing burger, to be honest. Ken's level 3 has 10 frames of extra recovery on guard and whiff. I mean, you already could DI punish it, I think. It's just that it was difficult to do because sometimes you would, if you DI'd too early, you would pass underneath him while he's DPing. Okay. Chun Li. I think Chun Li got quite a lot of love in this update. Crouching heavy kick. With range around the same as her crouch medium kick, crouch heavy kick was a move with limited effective use. Its range has been increased, making it more useful as both a counterattack and a whiff punish. Oh yeah, she noticeably steps forward now. That's actually a big increase. Big pushback as well, and -9. Like, a lot of characters are not going to be able to punish this. Down forward fierce, advantage on hit changed from +1 to +2. So if it's +2, that means it's +6 on drive rush. But this is 5 frames anyway. I mean, I guess you can link straight into crouch medium punch, but I don't know if you'd want to. I guess it's just for, like, consistency. If you hit it from slightly far out, you don't want the stand medium punch to whiff like that. Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess if you happen to counter hit with this thing, you now get a combo off it. Kikoken, increase the speed of the projectile disappears after active frames end. Oh, thank God. I hate this move. Perfect parrying her goddamn fireball is so annoying because for some reason the particle effects stay active. Okay, that's so much better. That's so much better. It just disappears straight away now. This is actually a nerf to Chun Li, believe it or not. Like, the second that her fireball runs out, it just instantly disappears now. It used to have this annoying thing where it would, like, slowly fade out, and it was really hard to tell if the hitbox was still there or not. Like, you would try and parry because you thought the fireball was still active, and then you would get stuck in parry recovery because it was still fizzling out. Lightning legs. Reduce startup from 8 to 5 frames. That's really fast. And a bigger hitbox. Is this now going to be a punish move? Changed effect on punish counter to blowback. This is 5 frames. As with what I was talking about earlier, there's one move we use to test 5-frame punishes. Okay, so first of all, we start off point blank. That is a punish. Let's move back a little bit. Still a punish counter. Okay, this might be the new longest 5-frame. Jesus. She might have the best 5-frame punish. This is just working from everywhere. Does this work from all ranges? Okay, not quite every range. There is some distances where this is safe, but this is way bigger than most 5-frames. Okay, medium legs went from 14 to 12 frames startup. OD legs, 200 damage increase. Changed effect of a successful punish counter from knockback stake to backwards crumple. Reduce combo count, starting value, add initial scaling. Strange. Okay, so this was always a punish counter combo starter. Oh, it crumples now. What the fuck? That's so weird. I mean, she could already link off this, but now it's just a full-on, like, heavy-ass crumple. What the hell? Wait, you can dash? You can dash, you don't even need to drive rush. Holy. You can do dash-up heavies? Oh my god. I overcomplicated this. I thought you must need a drive rush, surely. You can just fucking dash up back fierce? I mean, even with the extra scaling, because this does do scaling as a combo starter. That's pretty good. OD air legs. Reduce recovery after landing, increased falling speed, added a new hitbox when used during a combo. Oh, okay, you can get the full hit on the EX air legs. 2 stomps, EX air legs, SA2 on landing. Oh, you can land after this in combo now? No, there's no way that works. Really? That's crazy. Good damage, too. Damn, that's actually a pretty big buff. I think Chun, yeah, I think Chun might be in contention for, like, one of the most buffed characters so far. Normal / OD Tensho kicks. Did they make her anti-air work properly? Extended active frames with the first hit. Okay. Extended active frames on hits 3 to 6 of the OD version. Extended hitboxes for all hits and versions upwards. Hitboxes, hitboxes, hitboxes. Made the last hit of the heavy version less likely to miss by increasing the distance moved. Okay, so I can't say for sure if this move is now fixed, but at the very least, it sounds like they've made it more consistent, because as an anti-air, it is not very reliable. Oh yeah, someone said that the you can also combo into the heavy version from jabs. Yeah, I think Chun's pretty well buffed here. Like, she seems better in most ways. Okay, Zangief. Zangief has had the base hurt box around his torso expanded, both weakening his throws and reducing his effectiveness in neutral. Now, I have a picture of this. Let me dig out the photo, because they made Gief, his hurt box now actually matches his goddamn model. So you can see the left is the old, the right is the new. You can see that the hurt box ends in the middle of his scar here on his shoulder in the old one, and now it extends a little bit further. And it also is a little bit taller. So it says, as a result of the hurt box expansion, he now finds himself further away from his opponent when close. I think Gief got kind of nerfed here. They gave him a longer drive impact though, which is like, okay. Yeah, so by the way, this hurt box change is not just his idle hurt box. It's literally all standing, crouching, and while in the air. So pretty much all of his hurt boxes are bigger now. Okay, down forward throw, reduced knockback time by 5 frames. Oh, did they nerf his Oki throw? This was the one that gave Giga Oki. So this lost 5 frames of advantage. It's still plus 28. So he's still plus 5 after dash. So you can still go for like an SPD here. He used to be able to do dash into headbutt. Crouch medium kick, added initial scaling, universal change. Okay, power stomps. every balance patch, they do something weird with his stomps that I'm not sure what the purpose of it is. This time, on this week's adventures of strange changes to Zangief's stomps, they're all now lows. Every single one of them. So if your opponent is standing, this is now a low. All 3 of these are low. I don't really know why, other than making it synergize with the new perfect parry changes. Like, maybe? Yeah, it's probably just for the perfect parry changes. Also, his DI goes a bit further now. To be honest, I didn't even know that his DI was stubby. I didn't realize he had a short DI, but yeah, it goes further now. OD SPD extended the throw hitbox forward, and Siberian Express the same. So did they actually increase the range of EX SPD? Or is that just like a offsetting the hurtbox increase thing? Yeah, if you're just doing it raw, I guess as like a punish, maybe it's slightly longer now. Normal / OD double lariat added a new hitbox when the first and second hits are used during a combo, making it easier to hit opponents in front of you. So does this mean that you get the good hitbox more consistently? That's pretty good. So if you guys don't know, Gief's lariat has like 2 different ways it can hit. Sometimes it will hit on like the first spin, and sometimes it will hit late. Like that. And if it hits late, it's way worse. You want the early hit. That's pretty good. Alright. Dhalsim. Our main focus with Dhalsim was taking a look at the properties of his Yoga Blast. Overdrive version has been given air invincibility. They made a similar buff last time for Dhalsim. They really want you using EX Blast as an anti-air. This thing. It's a pretty good anti-air. Like, it does lead to some nice combos if you can do it in time. Because you get level 1 off it. Even the normal one works as an anti-air. Oh, it does. That's cool. So medium Yoga Blast has more forward movement. So they made medium Yoga Blast easier to combo. And the reason they did that is because they changed Heavy Yoga Blast pretty significantly. So this got slower, and that means that I don't think this combos from lights anymore. Yeah. So he can't actually combo jab into Heavy Blast anymore. But to make up for that, you now get juggles after it. I know for a fact, I think you can do crouch medium punch here. Like that. You can do like an air reset. You can now do Heavy Blast mid-screen into level 1. Because like previously, Dhalsim didn't have any real way to do special into level 1 without spending a bunch of drive. Like, he was one of those characters that always had to do like normal into level 1. Like he would just do like this. That's how they would usually do the combo. But now you can actually finish the combo with a special. Which is pretty good. So they basically retooled his Heavy Blast as like a launcher and then turned his medium into his old heavy. Alright, crouching heavy punch has had its advantage increased. So it's -8 on block now, so it's not sweep punishable. It's pretty good. I don't know if the hit advantage changes much, because most of the time you're going to be hitting this thing from downtown. That is now a link. I'm not sure what situations that would be useful for, but that's the thing. I mean, it's one of those changes where, like, it's good for Dhalsim because he can maintain his turn more easily after his long-range normals. Oh man, I am so happy to see this. Jumping heavy punch has been nerfed. Extended hurt box around the torso, extended hurt box 50% at the extension, extended hurt box blah 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 blah. Extended hurt box is 4 times in a row, so hopefully it will now be fucking possible to anti-air this asshole doing float jump fierce 24/7 without either trading or losing clean. Like, this is the only thing about Sim that I thought was really obnoxious. So I'll have to do some testing with how this actually works against anti-airs, but they basically say they've nerfed like almost all aspects of its hurt box. I'm okay with this getting nerfed if he gets a bunch of buffs in return, you know? Down back light kick -5 to -3, that's mostly universal. OD Yoga Fire is now 1 frame faster, consistent after 3 lights. Oh, that's cute. Can you do level 1 after that? Okay, so it's mostly just for combo consistency. Medium Yoga Flame has a new hitbox, making it easier to hit opponents. Okay. Oh yeah, this is another thing. They sped up Yoga Float, so that if you cancel into his float from the ground, it's 6 frames faster. And I've been told that this is actually really good for some of his combos. So like, I think if you do like this, that's now a combo. Drive Rush Down Heavy Kick is a surprisingly common combo starter on Punish Counter, because like you can sometimes meet a fireball and then do this afterwards. So you can do stuff like that now, which is meterless. Okay, that is the base roster complete. It's time to move on to the DLCs, starting with Rashid of the Turbulent Wind. And before I talk about the changes Rashid did get, let's talk about the changes Rashid didn't get. Do you guys notice something at the bottom of this list? Do you guys notice a strange lack of mention of a certain move? I'm not seeing anything about his level 2. Not a single change. Huh. Okay, anyway, without getting ahead of myself. So, let's start with the forward throw change. They basically did the same thing to Rashid that they did to Ken. So, Rashid's forward throw leaves him slightly further away now, but also he still has a throw loop. It's a weird change they've made to a couple characters. So, it used to be that dash here would leave you in throw range. There we go. So yeah, he still has a throw loop. He had a few different ways of like meeting here that have been toned down, like... Yeah, so he lost the heavy fireball that like hits on the way up. His Oki is slightly worse off forward throw, but I will say, being further away after a throw also means that you're in a better position to follow in behind this thing now. So yeah, his forward throw is very slightly nerfed. In exchange for that, they actually gave Rashid some pretty good buffs. The first one is his OD Fireball takes less time to fully charge now, and it can now be very easily comboed into for some reason. off this target combo, the medium punch heavy kick, you can now do a full charge EX fireball like this, which juggles and sets up the wind upgrade. And you can do stuff. I think this works. For some reason. Like, I guess Rashid needed better combos. He gets it off punish counter DI now. I don't know, man. He needed it? I guess he needed it. Also, just in general, not as a combo tool, this thing now just charges pretty fast, just as a projectile, so like, you can just do this. And then use your upgraded specials and stuff. Okay. Medium spin mixer, also got a bigger hitbox from the first hit, so that's just a pure buff. Boosted medium mixer is better as an anti-air, frames 3 to 11 rather than 5 to 8. OD spin mixer, third hit will no longer hit grounded opponents. Oh, I see. So they made it so that like DI will now consistently go through this without getting hit. DI now beats EX mixer. OD Arabian Sky High has a bigger hitbox upwards. I think they just made this more consistent, because I remember there was lots of situations where you would do like a combo. And sometimes the EX dive kick here would like miss one of the hits, or just miss altogether. Yeah, so honestly, I think Rashid is one of the winners of the patch. Purely because he mostly got buffs, he was already really good, and they did not make a single change to his level 2, which is wild to me. Okay, Aki. I know a thing or two about this character. Aki's changes are really weird. I think she has been buffed, but there's some weird changes here, some of which I don't even fully comprehend, even as an Aki main. So standing medium punch does more block stun now, but the frame data is exactly the same. And they mention up here the reasoning for that. This is kind of a nerf, but also kind of a buff. If you guys don't know, Aki's stand medium punch has a really big cancel window. And what you used to be able to do was you could late cancel this thing into quarter circle back heavy punch like this. And this would actually be a frame trap. So like, it was kind of a case of like, does your opponent press after stand medium punch? You can late cancel into bubble and then it will counter hit them. But now, because of the extra block stun, there is no more frame trap here. Like, even if I delay this cancel as much as possible, it's always a true block string. Like, even that is still a block string. So it does more block stun when you cancel into it. But it's also a buff. Because, for two reasons. Number one, this now jails. So stand medium punch, drive rush, crouch, medium kick can now be made a true block string, so your opponent can't interrupt this with a DP. Which is nice, because this is a really good button. This is one of her best normals. So being able to do this as a true block string is pretty nice. That's the reason number one why this is a buff. Reason number two, and this is a strange one, is they've sort of buffed Aki's burnout pressure. Sort of buffed it. A big part of Aki's burnout loops you've probably seen before is this sequence right here. Stand medium punch into cower crouch roll. Now, this loop last season was fake, sort of. So the way that this worked last season was that if your opponent pressed a 4 frame in this gap, it would trade. And the trade was in Aki's favor, but it was a trade, and that made this kind of scary sometimes. Like, if I had a pixel of health, I couldn't go for this because they would just trade and I would die. Now, this is actually a true frame trap. So, doing a loop like this, medium punch, cower crouch, roll, will consistently counter hit any attempts to interrupt it. So, they've actually upgraded that aspect of her burnout loop. Now, to offset that, they did add a nerf here, which is this one. It says that heel strike, which is cower crouch roll, has increased pushback on block during burnout. When I saw that, I thought, oh fuck, they've killed my burnout pressure. But actually, it's barely noticeable. Like, even with the increased pushback, you still get 3 reps of this, which is more than enough to drag your opponent to the corner. And then you can just do like this, and then just do a drive rush to get close again, and then just do it more. So yes, her cow crouch roll does push back slightly further, but you still get 3 reps of it before you get pushed out. And on top of that, it's also now completely uninterruptible with anything except for supers. So I think actually her burnout pressure is better now, which I didn't expect. On the whole, I think her burnout pressure is slightly more consistent. So her stand medium punch does more block stun, which has a bunch of weird side effects, but I'm not quite sure why they focused on that. It's a weird thing to laser in on. Anyway, stand heavy punch, increased pushback on block. That's just a tiny little buff. This thing is -4, and it does slightly more pushback now, so I guess you're a little bit safer. It's a small buff. Okay, this is a good buff though. Crouch medium punch went from 8 frames to 7, which is nice because there's a bunch of situations where this helps. I'll try and cover a few common ones. Number 1, counter hit crouch medium kick is the main one. So one of the issues with Aki is that even though this is a really good button, this crouch medium kick, she can't actually convert off it a lot of the time. So for example, if I hit the counter hit crouch medium kick from like here, notice that the stand medium punch whiffs. So last season, I didn't have any conversion of this at this distance. Now you can do this, which also combos into EX chain. So that's pretty nice. That's a good buff. The other part is that punish counter stand medium punch, this thing, is +7 on hit. Which means that previously, if I blocked a -6 move, I would mostly just do a combo like this. Or if I wanted to spend drive, I would have to do like this. Now, you can do stand medium punch, crouch medium punch on punish counter, which is much more drive efficient because you're using EX moves rather than drive rush cancels. So this is a nice improvement. But yeah, just this thing being 7 frames is just nicer. Yeah, punish counter crouch light kick is also +7, but I have tested it a little bit, and almost all of the things that are -5 don't really reach here. So like, you can't punish Jinrai, you can't punish Bison's scissors very easily, unless they do it point blank. Alright, crouching medium kick, they increased the initial scaling from 10 to 20%, so this is a universal change, and also this is a change that I personally said she should probably have in my own predictions. I said crouch medium kick should probably scale a bit harder. Crouching heavy kick extended the hitbox around the feet after the active frames end upwards. I don't understand what this change is. It sounds like they've made crouch heavy kick slightly better as an anti-air, but the way they worded it is so strange, I didn't understand it. Without having access to a hitbox viewer for this thing, I can't really see the difference. This is another really weird change. Forward Fierce, if it hits a mid-air opponent, it now knocks down. I don't know what they're cooking with this one either. So Forward Fierce almost never hits an airborne opponent. Like, it's actually hard to make this thing even hit airborne, but as you see there, I guess if you hit confirm it, like you single hit confirm it into super, and they were in the start of like jump start up, then you get the combo without it dropping. That's happened to me maybe once in the entire life of this game. That's about all I can think of. Heavy Nightshade Pulse, initial scaling of 20%. This is just another equalizer, so if you start a combo with EX Fireball, it now scales pretty hard. Which again, I think this is a fair nerf. Most other characters already got this. Most of the characters with good EX Fireballs also have pretty severe scaling if you use it as a combo starter. Alright, Medium Serpent Lash. This is one of the noticeable buffs. Reduced startup from 17 to 14 frames. Increased active frames from 6 to 9. So, Medium Lash might actually be usable as a reactive anti-air now. It's not the slowest thing in the universe. It's still pretty slow. 14 frames isn't that fast, but it feels a lot faster. I'm just so used to the old version. So that's nice. It also has a bunch of extra active frames, so it should be more consistent as well. And it also gives us some new combo routes. One of the interesting ones is that she can now combo into medium lash from all of her lights. So previously you could only do this from stand light kick. Now it combos from all of her jabs, including the target combo. which isn't that useful, I think, except for modern players. I think this is kind of a modern buff. Because modern Aki did not have access to stand light kick previously, so she had no way of comboing lights into this thing, but now modern Aki can do this as well. There's some new routes you can do. The extra active frames also give you some interesting anti-air combos. Like in the corner, you can do this. If someone, like let's say my opponent tries to jump out of the corner here, you can do this now. You get double medium whip there. So that's pretty good considering that's completely driveless anti-air. Yeah, that's another thing actually. You can now use it as a really cool anti-air if your opponent jumps back a throw. Like let's say that I do this into slide and go for a meaty throw. Previously, last season, the only way to punish this back jump was light whip, which didn't really lead to anything. But now, where are you jumping to, buddy? Get back here. So yeah, that's probably I think the medium whip changes is probably the main like selling point of Season 3 Aki. It's better as a combo tool, it's better as an anti-air, it's better for chasing people down. It's pretty damn good. OD Cruel Fate and regular Cruel Fate got a nice little quality of life buff where they have a bigger hitbox if used during a combo. So let's say that I know my opponent is going to do like crouch medium kick here, and I go for like a whiff punish into heavy flip. Because I'm hitting an extended normal, this used to drop at long range like this. It still drops sometimes, like you can see there. It doesn't work at absolutely max range. Still, this can still drop. Like, that time it comboed, but like at max range, that wasn't a combo. But yeah, now if you use this as like a whiff punish starter, it's now a lot more consistent. Also, this one's funny. I wonder if this change was dictated by the events of Capcom Cup. So OD Cruel Fate has a bigger collision push box, which means that, as far as I can tell, it seems like they've now fixed the issue which got me killed against IDOM at Capcom Cup. As long as the first hit connects, it's now no longer possible for the follow-ups to cause you to whiff and land behind. I've done a little bit of testing. I haven't found any angles yet where this breaks in the middle now. Because yeah, if you go back and watch my match against IDOM at Capcom Cup, this broke and it was -26 on block when it's supposed to be +2. And we're going to end up with a nerf, actually. And this is probably the biggest nerf she got here, actually. This is actually kind of a nasty little nerf. Back throw lost Oki. It has 7 frames more recovery on hit. Aki has completely lost mid-screen Oki on her back throw. This is now only +20. And if the opponent back rolls, you cannot meaty them. Like, you cannot cover that much ground in enough time. You can still, thankfully in the corner, you still got Oki, because you're much closer. So like, you can do drive rush down medium punch here and it's a meaty. But yeah, her back throw mid-screen is a lot worse. Generally speaking, she now gets like almost no good Oki on either throw mid-screen, because like, forward throw leaves you a long way away, and back throw now also leaves you a long way away. Generally speaking, her mid-screen throw Oki in both directions is pretty bad now. So that's probably the biggest nerf she got. And that's the end of the Aki changes. Now, I will say, just before I move on, because this is my character, one thing I do think that Aki I should mention, I think Aki benefits a lot from the perfect parry changes they introduced this season. And that is because she has the privilege of having a 6-frame mid that's really good, this thing, and a 7-frame low that's also really good. And for example, if I do a forward throw in the corner into drive rush down medium punch, it's a meaty. And if I do forward throw in the corner into drive rush crouch medium kick, it's also a meaty. And the reason this is good now is because last season, if you tap parried on wake up, you would cover for both of these options. There was almost no point in mixing up mid versus low, because either way, if they tap parried, you just got perfect parried into back throw. Now, every single time I go for a meaty here, even if my opponent does tap parry on wake up, they're still in a 50-50, because they might tap parry the wrong direction. So they might get the perfect parry, but it'll be the wrong version because it's mid versus low. So I think she benefits a lot from the changes to the system mechanics. Okay. Ed. I was right about this one, by the way. This is another one where I called my shot on this one. I said Ed is super overrepresented in the top Japanese players, and he'll probably get nerfed. And he did. His forward throw got nerfed pretty significantly. So he got 2 frames more recovery. Distance from the opponent changed. So it looks like this now. So it's further away, and it's less advantageous. And this means that you can no longer get a meaty charged flicker here. So you don't actually have enough time to charge the flicker here. This is not real anymore. Oh, does he not? He can't walk forward? Wait, did they just straight up get rid of his throw loop? Hold on. I thought they just toned it down. Did they actually just remove it? He's now a drive rush user? Oh, you have to drive rush. I thought he was plus enough after dash to walk up throw. No, you can't kill rush either, because this is -7 now. Wow, they killed his throw Oki. Again, this is one of those changes where I'm kind of glad to see a character that doesn't get brain dead pressure after their forward throw, but what I find so strange about this update is how inconsistently the rules are being applied. If this was a change to every character's forward throw, I would be like, hell yeah. But like, it just strikes me as odd to do it to a few random characters, but not everyone. Everyone's throw should be like this, not just Ed's, you know? So yeah, his forward throw is way worse now. Also, another big nerf. They applied the rules of Terry's round wave, and now, if you perfect parry this thing, it's a screen freeze. This used to be a projectile perfect parry, so it was very hard to react to the perfect parry. You'd have to, like, buffer a drive rush. All versions, by the way. Now, if you just tap parry on this thing, the whole screen freezes, and you get to wait and see what happens and then drive rush. Okay, normal Psycho Flicker now be cancelled into Kill Rush. Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's a cute combo. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, it's a cool combo, visually. I think it's a fun little combo to do. And it makes him less dependent on spending Drive Rush. Medium/heavy Psycho Uppercut. Decreased super gauge gain. Medium version 1200 to 1000, heavy version 1500 to 1200. So they've nerfed the super build on his DPs. And I think these are all basically level 2 nerfs. I think basically this means that when you do 500 DPs in his level 2 juggles, you don't build back like so much meter. It's a sort of, yeah, weird way of nerfing his level 2. And yeah, as we said before, his forward throw's been killed. So like, honestly, Ed got kind of nerfed pretty heavily here. Like, they gave him the cute little combo off Flicker dash cancels, but it came at a huge price. His forward throw is dog water garbage now. That's crazy. Like, genuinely, he went from, like, one of the best forward throws in the game in the corner to one of the worst forward throws in the game in one update. Okay. Akuma. My favorite character. I love this guy. I hope he gets lots of buffs. Akuma was able to use these moves to avoid punishment on block. Forward Heavy Punch, Fireball, and Heavy Adamant Flame. We've reduced the amount of pushback on block to ensure he's more likely to eat a counter-attack, while trying to preserve the ease of use of these attacks. That doesn't sound like punishable, that sounds like closer. I mean, look. This, to be honest, this is not the obnoxious one. This being safe is dumb, considering it's like a really good combo starter. It does leave you in throw range now, so you can like throw shimmy him. The one that I want to throw a tantrum about, why in the fuck is this thing still safe? Notice how they didn't even increase the pushback on the EX version, so this still leaves you out of throw range. So I'm not just going to be talking about the changes they did make to Akuma, I'm also going to be talking about the changes they didn't make to Akuma. Why the fuck is this thing still safe? Crouch medium punch, got extra recovery, universal change, crouch light kick, same again. Crouch heavy kick, reduce knockdown time by 5 frames when hitting an opponent in the air. So, did they kill the Oki off light Tatsu into sweep, is what I'm wondering here. Okay, so okay. This is good. This is actually a good nerf. He doesn't get double dash Oki here. He's -1, and also he doesn't get a safe jump here. So he can still drive rush for pressure. But yeah, he doesn't have like the autopilot double dash Oki here. Back heavy kick, increased pushback on block. Fireball, reduced pushback on block. You can now 4-frame punish, medium punch, fireball. It's not a big deal though. He still has a million ways to make his fireball safe. Charged fireball now gives the defender more drive gauge on parry. This is, okay. Do you guys remember earlier how I said, even though I was happy to see Ken's Jinrai get nerfed, I don't like the way they did it? This is part 2 of that mindset where I'm glad they've nerfed air fireball, but I think the way they did it is really stupid and lazy. So, air fireball, for some reason now, is a giga-scaled combo starter. Like, this thing instantly kills the combo damage. Almost to a, like, perfect parry level. Like, look at this go straight to 50% instantly. Like, look at the state of this damage. Full cash out. And like I said, I'm glad they're nerfing this move. I think air fireball was really obnoxious in its current form. But for me, I would have much rather, like, go the direction of being like, if Akuma lands the move, he gets a reward. But if I pick the correct counter, I get a reward. I like that design better than just being like, yeah, this air fireball is still really dumb, but now he does no damage off it. Smile. Again, I think it should have been nerfed, but I don't really like the way they went about it and just made this thing do no damage. That's just my opinion. Okay, ODDP, third hit no longer hits a grounded opponent. That's the same change as Rashid, so his ODDP should no longer beat drive impact. Yeah. OD Demon Raid can now be cancelled into Tenma Gozanku, which I believe is his level 1? Yeah. You can now level 1 out of EX Demon Flip. I guess it unlocks a few new, like, saucy swag combos. Demon Blade Kick. Kick during Demon Raid. Increased initial scaling from 20 to 30%. So his Demon Flip Dive Kick also scales harder. They basically just said, fuck it, we're just going to accept that it's going to be impossible to actually make it anti-airing Akuma consistent, and just said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to make it so that all of his moves that beat anti-airs have more scaling. But they still beat your anti-airs. So Akuma is nerfed. He is probably worse than he was before. I'm not a fan of how they went about it, really. And there's also a bunch of stuff here that sticks out to me for not being mentioned. They made no changes to his regular dive kick. It's still safe from all heights. Like I said earlier, EX Adamant Flame is still safe on block. Forward Fierce. Did I even mention Forward Fierce? His Forward Fierce also does less pushback on block, but it's still safe. So it leaves him closer. It's easier to take your turn here now. But it's not that big of a deal. They didn't address a lot of his obnoxious stuff. Anyway, M. Bison. M. Bison already boasts powerful offense. Ain't that the truth? So, Stand Light Punch has been nerfed. Less active frames, more recovery, less advantageous on block, and smaller cancel windows. This is one of the best moves to just like poke within neutral. Well, it was. Not so much anymore. They made the same change to Stand Medium Kick as well. Got one less active frame, more recovery, bigger hurt box. Stand Heavy Punch. Increased recovery on whiff and when hitting an armored attack from 17 to 20 frames. Thank God. It was insane how little whiff recovery this thing had. Like, you would neutral jump at the same time as he presses Stand Fierce and he'd block the landing. Or even worse, perfect parry anti-air. And the other thing is, I'm glad they mentioned the armor thing, because for whatever reason, it used to be possible for Bison to recover and counter DIs, which is insane. The only thing is, as people are saying, you can super cancel this move, but I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with the DI here being vulnerable to a super cancel. That doesn't bother me at all. I just found it infuriating when I did this move, and they didn't super cancel, and still were able to recover in time to DI back, so that's a good nerf. That's justified. So, they made Psycho Crusher faster on startup so that you can now combo into it more easily. It's 16 down to 14 frames. Does it combo off lights now? Yeah. So you now get Light Crusher off jabs, which is good Oki. You're +5 after dash here, which is pretty good. Because I think they want you to vary like which specials you use as combo enders. And the reason they've done that, the reason they have buffed Psycho Crusher as a combo tool is because light and medium bomb set back fist combo have been nerfed, thank God. They both have 3 frames of recovery on hit, and it says they increased the blowback. So does that mean they send you further away? So this is now +21. That was a punish counter, so I was late on that. Okay, so it seems like there's basically no Oki at all, ever, off the light bomb now, mid-screen. And it also said they've done the same to medium, which also sends you to full screen. Okay. Yeah, it looks like light now has no Oki, and medium now has the same Oki light used to have, it feels like. And as well as that, in the corner, I think this has also killed his meaty overhead setup. Yeah. So medium bomb used to set up the most brain-dead meaty overhead here. This used to be +4. So now he can't just press overhead here and then do 70% of your health. I don't think they've changed heavy. Yeah, so heavy is still the go-to. So to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. I think this is a little bit oversold because like there's 5,000 different ways to combo into heavy. Like you can do this, and that gives really good Oki. You can do it off this. So he still has a bunch of ways to route into heavy. So yeah, they nerfed his light and medium bombs, but his heavy bomb is still evil. Overdrive bomb has less blowback. So is that the idea here? Is now EX bomb +5 after dash? And that's the end of the changes. I think it's the same as the Akuma situation. Bison's a little bit worse, but noticeably they didn't make any changes to his damage output at all. He's a bit worse, but I think he's still really damn good. Okay, Terry. Terry's stand medium punch. Got a slight boost to the reach. Advantage on hit change from +1 to +2. Does that give him a natural combo into target combo now? No. Okay. Unfortunately, this is still not a natural combo. I guess making it +2 on hit does mean that you can do this, which is nice. Medium shoulder. Oh, that's cute. Stand heavy kick. Reduce pushback on punish counter. Medium burn knuckle would sometimes drop. Okay, so it's mostly just for consistency. Crouch light kick, universal change. Crouch heavy kick. Reduced from 11 to 10 frames. Okay, that's nice because his crouch heavy kick sucked. There was a lot of sweeps that this couldn't counter sweep. Even just 1 frame less startup on this thing is good because now he should be able to punish other blocked sweeps a little bit more consistently. Not all of them, some of them. Medium punch, heavy punch target combo does more damage. Oh, is this the same as the earlier change where it's only if the second hit connects? So if you catch people trying to interrupt this gap, the second hit alone now does 1320. Round wave changed attack type from high to low. So this is now a low. Which is odd. You cannot block this standing anymore. The thing is, when you're trying to perfect parry this thing, you're usually down backing. For me at least, when I perfect parry this thing, I do it from down back. I don't do it from standing. So you should still get the screen freeze perfect parry from down back. I would argue that it would be better if it stayed as a mid. Because then you'd have to stand up to perfect parry it properly. Quick burn, more distance moved. OD quick burn, same again. Oh, that's nice. So heavy burn knuckle now has a bigger window to cancel into super level 3, which is good because it was finicky before. Like there was some situations where like you would juggle into You juggle into like heavy burn knuckle, and you tried to super cancel and it just wouldn't come out because it was a few frames too deep into startup. It's a nice little quality of life. Okay, medium crack shoot got 200 extra damage. Heavy crack shoot has a reduced hurt box and is less likely to be hit from behind after jumping a projectile. Expanded hitbox upwards on the third hit, increased maximum combo count for the third hit, reduced combo count value for the third hit. Damn. Does that mean that you no longer have to play this stupid mind game of medium versus heavy DP after this thing? Oh, thank God. That's such a nice quality of life buff. There used to be this annoying thing where, like, if you tried to time this to get all 3 hits, and you messed it up slightly and you got 2 hits, you had to emergency adjust the combo and switch to medium DP because heavy would whiff and you would die. It was this weird little mini game you had to play inside his juggles. Now you just get heavy DP on everything. Oh, you can level 2 off this now? Wait, really? Oh, nice. The timing's a little bit tight, but this is actually pretty good. OD crack shoot. Extended the hitbox upwards. Twin Geyser, level 2 plus the follow-up. Reduced horizontal blowback on hit. Oh, are they finally gonna let us get combos off this mid-screen? Because this thing used to launch you so far away if you just did the 2 punches. It was impossible to pick up off this without a drive rush. So if you were in burnout, you got nothing here. Can you do like... Oh, you can. Let's combine these changes together. Nice. Yeah, Terry got some cool buffs here. I like what they're doing to Terry, man. Terry is what they should be doing to Ryu. Like, they're giving him buffs, but they're keeping his power level pretty consistent. They're making him more fun to play, but not just turning him into a gorilla. Alright, final character. And then I can clock out for the day. Mai. Powerful tools to keep the opponents away. As such, we've tweaked her stand heavy kick and Kachosen. Stand heavy punch. Less drive gauge. Alright, so stand heavy kick. They said that this is the focus of their nerfs, but to be honest, they've basically done not a lot here. Stand heavy kick is still safe on block for some reason, which is shocking to me. So it has more whiff recovery, but like, how are you even whiffing this normal in the first place? And it also does less pushback on block. Because like, it's still a gigantic swinging heavy that goes half screen, gives a massive fucking combo if it punish counters, and it's still safe on block. It just leaves her a bit closer now. And again, look, even at this range, that's still not leaving her in throw range or anywhere close. Like, there's no mix-up here. That's not much of a nerf, to be honest. This is still really goddamn good. Crouch heavy kick has more whiff recovery. Normal / boosted Kachosen. Projectile invincible hurt box at the feet. Expanded the body hurt box from frame 19 to the end of recovery. Does this mean that you can actually intercept this thing when she's charging it now? One of the really annoying things about Mai was that, like, even when they did something like this, which has a huge gap in the middle, like stand fierce into charged fan, it was actually really hard to interrupt because, like, she pulls backwards. So you'd press like a medium here and it would just whiff. Have they improved that situation at all? There's a little bit larger of a hurt box to interrupt here. Yeah, I think it is bigger, but she can still avoid buttons here. So this is probably the biggest nerf she got here, but I'm not convinced this is actually as big of a deal as people thought it was. So they've made it now that the falling fan doesn't inflict proximity block, so you can theoretically walk out of it like this. But that just opens you up to drive rush low. I mean, it is slightly better to get out of, but she has really good lows and really fast drive rush. It's a nerf. It's not the one that I was hoping for. You have slightly more ways of dealing with this move. It's not that big of a deal. I think EX fan is still going to be extremely spammable, even with this change. And in the corner, if you're in the corner and she does this, you're not going anywhere, buddy. Like, where are you walking? You're gonna walk forward and get punched in the face? Can I also point out, just before we move on, they made this is baffling to me. They made absolutely no change to her forward throw Oki. they absolutely goddamn murdered Ed's forward throw, and this thing still puts her in the perfect throw shimmy range. She has like the best throw loop in the game. Okay, so OD, fan, regular and boosted versions give you more drive gauge when you parry them. Light Ryu Embu gives her more drive gauge, so does medium. Her DP is more juggle friendly. Okay, so her dive punch, her dive thingy, thankfully no longer keeps her in crouching recovery. This actually affected me as an Aki player. Most characters won't care about this, but I will say real quick, this was very annoying as an Aki player. Because like, Mize would do this stupid ass move to try and beat my anti-airs, I would block it, and then when I punish it, this used to be a crouching state, it's now forced stand, and that meant that my my medium whip didn't combo here, but now it does because they're standing. So that's an improvement for Aki specifically. If your character needs standing state to get good punishes, that's good news. Okay, this is another nerf. So they changed the way that her fire stocks get added. So rather than her fire stocks being added like the moment that she activates level 1, it's now she gets them at the end of recovery. You see how she doesn't get any stocks until this thing is completely finished recovering? And the idea being here is that if I bait it and block it now and punish, she gets no fire stocks. So like, there was a common strategy for my players where they would wake up with level 1 really early in a round, with the thought process being like, if the wake up super hits, then I get damage and fire stocks, but even if my opponent baits the wake up super, I still get 5 fire stocks and I'm stronger than I was before. So like, there was a tendency across my players to just yeet the level 1 early in the round on wake up because it was rewarding both on block and on hit. So they've made it now where you can't use it on block to just farm fire stocks, which is enough. That is definitely enough. And a bug fix to drive reversal. And you know what that means, folks? We are done here. That is the end of the changes in Season 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to make in the near future a list of the characters that I think are the big winners and big losers once things have had a bit of time to settle. My initial day 1 impressions on this patch are kind of mixed. I think some of the changes are okay. There's not as many changes as I expected. Some of them are poorly thought out. It kind of just feels like they're just shuffling things around because they feel like they have to. I think that's what it is. I get the impression that Capcom thinks this game is basically in a completed state. And at this point, they're just like moving things around, kind of arbitrary. So it's not a bad update. You know, okay, I guess in the current climate, it's not a Tekken Season 2. It's definitely not a like game-ruining update. It's not a bad update. It's just kind of like meh to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just the direction they're going in this game. And yeah, hope you guys found this useful, and I will see you all in the next video.